Oh, finally guys, I have found a system that will enable me to build the presentation I've tried to build in the last two videos. My presentation all about traveling across Norway was an epic fail using Prezi AI. It was an even bigger disaster using Microsoft Copilot to build a PowerPoint deck. If you haven't seen those videos, please check them out. I'll put the links in the comments for you. But I'm going to use a system today that I don't think I've really ever spoken about before or shared a video about, but it is a system that I'm starting to use more and more. And I have to say, I've had my eyes on these guys for many years, and what they're doing to help people all across the world be more creative is just mind-blowing, and my hat's off to them. So yes, you've guessed it. I'm going to show you how I can build a presentation super fast without AI using Canva. Let's take a look. Okay, so if you remember from the last videos, I already had my content file all written in Google Documents. That's the way I tend to build my presentations. I start with the content in a file like this, but we don't need to worry about that for now. Let's head straight on over to Canva. Here we go. You can see I've already got a little presentation down here that looks quite similar. So I'm going to rebuild that now. And I'm just going to hit the create button on the top left here. And the thing to mention, if you have never heard of Canva before, it's not just a presentation tool. You can use it to create anything at all. So social media, videos, even websites, whiteboards, you name it, you can design it in Canva. It's a really fantastic system. But if I hit the presentations option here, I'm going to have a quick look at some templates. And this is the thing that I love the most about Canva. And it's the reason that I'm not using the Canva AI actually. So just to highlight down here on the left, there is a Canva AI option. Now I've used that for other things and it's actually really good. For presentations though, I just find that Canva's got so many templates already built into it that writing a prompt and telling an AI system exactly what you want feels like a little bit of a waste of time because you've got so many options in here already. So instead of artificial intelligence, we're just going to use a bit of human intelligence for this one. So these templates are absolutely beautiful, and you can see a lot of them here are based on travel for me already. I'm going to just do a quick search at the top here for travel. And then I'm just going to make sure the category is still set to presentations, so we're not looking at everything. And I really like this one here. This is one I started with earlier on when I first started playing around with this. And you can see straight away it's got a nice image of what looks like the Norwegian fjords. It might not be, but it looks good enough for me. So I'm going to press Customize Template and we'll start from that template. And then straight away, I'm just going to put in a title, Traveling Norway by Van. And let's just say with Russell and his dog. You'll meet the dog in a second. There we go. So we've started off the presentation with a built-in template, and if I want to now, I can just click through each of these different slides. Obviously the imagery is going to be something that I'm going to completely replace, and all of the text content as well will be replaced with the content from my Google document. Now I'm not going to worry about that too much. I just want to show you the visual elements of Canva presentations and how easy this is to build a stunning looking presentation. So we've got some really lovely stuff in here. There's some great slides that we can use to drop our own content into, and you'll see as we go through just how easy it is to create brand new slides or duplicate ones that are already there and just tweak them slightly for different bits of content. This one's already got people living in vans in as well, so this is absolutely perfect. So I'm going to stick with this one for now, and that's just how easy it is to get started with Canva by using templates. Now, one thing to mention about all of the business users out there who are maybe a little bit worried that you won't be able to use Canva within your organization because you already have a PowerPoint template that everyone is told they have to use and so on. Well, I'm sorry to say, you know, I don't work for your business. I can't change that. There might not be any way around that within your organization, but it's also worth mentioning that you can add your own brand elements into Canva. So over here on the left-hand side, if I just hover over here, in fact, I'll click on it so you can see, I've got some brand templates built into the system. I've got my logo and I've got my color palette for the presenter design agency as well. I've also got all my fonts set up. You can add your tone of voice, you can add a photo library, an icons library and everything. So if you do like the look of this system and you start playing around with it and then you think, oh, I really want to try and sell this in to the wider business because I think we could build better presentations, this is going to be one of the areas that marketing and communication people are going to look at first, and designers as well. And you can keep everything on brand. It's really, really easy to keep everything on brand. Just like PowerPoint though and everything else, people can still break it. There's no getting around that. So, you know, it depends on your the size business you work for, how easy it might be to get Canva into your organization. But what I would definitely say is, even if you do have to stick with PowerPoint for business presentations, if you're building something yourself just for an internal presentation and you want to do something really quickly that doesn't have to be on brand and you want something really exciting, this could be a really, really good way for you to go. So definitely don't dismiss it. Always good to have multiple kind of presentation tools in your pocket for various different reasons when you need them. But let's move on. What I want to talk about next is inserting images, because that's so easy to do. So over here on the left hand side, there's an option called Elements. So I'm going to click on that, and this will open up your access to the huge, and I would say absolutely ridiculous amount of design elements that you have in this Canva library. I mean, they've done an amazing job of just pulling in elements from so many different places. You literally don't need to leave Canva. Everything is in here. So what I'm going to do first of all is maybe I want to swap out that background image. So let's do a search for Norway. And here we've got the option of graphics, photos or videos. Now, a video in the background would actually be pretty cool. So let's have a quick scroll through these, or we can hit see all and scroll through them. There's a nice sunset one there. Oh, look at this. This is lovely. Oh, a nice time-lapse video. Let's do that. Let's go with that. So if we click on this, that will drop it directly onto the slide. We can delete the background image. And all we're going to do is just stretch this out, make it fill the slide. Doesn't matter if it hangs off the edge of the slide a little bit. And if I now hit the present button up in the top, I'll talk more about this later on, hit present, it just plays automatically. Wow. Now that looks really, really cool, and it's been so easy to get to all those elements and drop that into place. Okay, so let's add some other elements to this then. It says with Russell and his dog, so let's add a picture of me and my dog. If we click on elements again and go back, just get rid of our search criteria here. Now there is a certain type of element in Canva called a frame, and if I click on frames, I'm just going to bring in a circular frame. And a frame is a way of housing an image inside a shape. So you'll see there that there were loads and loads of different types of frames. There's even frames that are kind of inside Polaroid photos, like mock-ups and stuff like that. I'm going to keep it very simple though. And I'm going to go to uploads now on the left here. I'm going to bring in a picture of me and then a picture of my dog Honey. Here's a picture of me looking very cool with my cycling gear on, which I will be doing a ton of across Norway. So I'm going to drag that image now into the circle. There we go. And then I'll add another frame. Maybe I'll make this one a little bit smaller. And let's go back to uploads. By the way, I just uploaded these directly from my phone. I beamed them across from my phone to my Mac and then uploaded them. They're just JPEG images. So let's drag that image from here and put it into this frame. There we go. So there's me and there's my dog, Honey, who is our resident PowerPoint expert. See what I did there? I apologize. Let's carry on. And let's just move this title across a little bit. There we go. Traveling Norway by van with Russell and his dog, Honey. Perfect. That looks fantastic. We're off to a great start. So now what we can do is obviously go through the rest of the slides and swap out different images. Now I don't want this kind of golden statue image here. It looks like something you'd find in Thailand or Bangkok. I want an image of my van. So let's bring my van onto here, because this van, or maybe one similar to it, is going to be what I travel across Norway in. And we can crop out important things like my registration plate, oops, and stuff like that. Very, very easy to use. And of course, I would then look at my Google document and I would just populate the text with the various different areas of the presentation. Same thing goes for here. So I don't really want this woman walking across what looks like somewhere in the Netherlands to me, maybe. I would actually prefer this to be an image again, or maybe even a video of Norway. So let's do another search for Norway here. Let's go down to the videos again, and let's just grab the first one we see. There we go. So let's get rid of that background image. Let's put this over on the right, and I'm going to right click on this and just do layer center back. There we go. So that nice plain icon sits on top of it. So let's have a look now. If I go back to slide 1 and hit present, there we go, present full screen. That video is going to play. There's me and Honey, the dog. And if I click now to the next slide, there's my van with the index of the presentation. Here's some details about flying to Norway. So I would drop my content into there, and so on and so on. So you can see, hopefully, from those very simple things that I've done there, just how quick and easy this can be. The design has been done for me. I'm just replacing content and dropping my own imagery in that I've uploaded. Really, really simple to do. Okay, the next thing that I'd like to focus in on to bring everything to life a little bit more is animation. Now, this is very, very cool. I love how Canva has addressed the issue of animating slides. Those of you who have used PowerPoint for many years will know that animation in PowerPoint is amazing and there's loads you can do with it if you know how. You have to really spend some time fiddling around in animation in PowerPoint to get it to do some amazing things. If you keep it very simple, which is what I recommend, that's normally the best results. But Canva has addressed this really nicely. So I've just clicked on the slide, and at the top here, there's an animate button. And this just gives me some preloaded animation types that I can apply to the entire page. So if I scroll through some of these, if I hover over them, you'll see exactly how they appear. So we've got things like sleek, we've got some fun ones as well. And it means that I don't have to spend time clicking on all of the individual elements and applying animation to them. Canva's just going to do that for everything on the slide. Actually, this kind of zoom one is quite nice. I mean, there's loads to choose from. Drift could be good. But do you know what? Let's just stick with one. It's got some suggested for me actually here. Let's do photo flow. We'll keep it simple. Let's click on that. And it gets even better. When you select an animation type, you can then click this button to apply it to all pages. Now let's have a look at what that means when we present. If we just hit the present button here, those elements animate in for me. If I then go to the next slide, the same animation type is applied to everything here, and the next slide, and so on. So that's going to enable you to keep a really nice consistency all the way through without having to worry about, oh, have I animated that title on slide 5 because I've done it on all the others. Just one button, one click, or 2 clicks I should say, one to select your animation type, the other to apply it to all of the slides. It couldn't get any simpler than that, and that's why I love using Canva so much. So the next thing I want to look at and address, let's just pretend for a second that I've now added all of my content in and I'm happy with the way it's looking, but I just want to play with the design a little bit more. Now, I'm not too keen on the kind of creamy background that we've got here, or this green background. I want to sort of liven things up a little bit. So at the top of the screen, you can see there's an option showing you the background color. And if I click on that, I can change this to anything at all. Now, I love a good gradient. So let's click on that. And again, just like with the animations, we can change all and we can apply that to every single slide. So if I go through the slides here now, you can see it's in the background here. It's in the background here. There's a couple of them where it hasn't appeared, and that's probably because there's just a background, like a shape on that slide, so I can change that very quickly. But again, it's just a super quick way to play around with the design, make some changes, and apply that to everything. So again, we don't need AI to do these very simple things for us. Canva's almost made it so easy that it's putting AI out of a job, which is pretty impressive, seeing as we will all be out of a job eventually because of AI. Now, one other thing just to mention about the presentation, of course, one thing that's really important is the transitions. So next to all the thumbnails of the slides here at the bottom, we can click on this little tab and we can select the transitions option, which is just at the bottom, add transition. And again, there are some preloaded transitions. I really like this one, flow, but I'll just show you some of the others. You know, they're all very, very simple, but you know, in design, less is more. Sounds really cheesy, but it's very true. So I'm going to use the flow option here. And again, I'm going to apply between all pages. Now that has really kind of changed everything, because if I go to the present option again now, look at that transition. It's absolutely stunning. So there's the animation on the slides. There's this really nice transition where everything sort of flies across the screen. It's beautiful. It's lovely. I have to say, well done, Canva. It's really, really good. I love it. Now, the last thing to mention about Canva, I could go on and on because there's so much to talk about, but the last thing I just want to mention is presenting and sharing. So I've pressed the present button a few times and I've gone straight to the present option here. A couple of options though, you can present in presenter view. So if you are the type of person like me that likes to have speaker notes against your slides and then present in presenter view, then you can do that. Against each slide here, you've got a notes option. So that text, for instance, that I have inside my Google Doc, I can just very quickly bring that across into the speaker notes. And I can do that for each individual slide. And then when I go present, presenter view, hit present, there's my notes. I obviously want to change the font size because that's way too big. Perfect. There we go. Okay, so really, really easy to do. If you're connected to multiple screens, I would suggest you have presenter view on your screen And then obviously the presentation mode is on the screen that your audience can see, and that can make your life much, much easier. You can also present and record. Now this is super cool. Yes, it's a feature inside PowerPoint, but most people don't know about it. But present and record means that I can hit this next button here and go to the recording studio. Let's just allow all of these various things. There we go, there's my webcam with me. Start recording, 3, 2, 1. It puts me in the bottom left-hand corner of the slide, and as I click through, I can create that recording and talk people through it. So an amazing sales tool if you're unable to get in front of people, but you want to create a presentation to send to them. We can now press end recording. That's going to process the whole thing, and we'll be able to send people a link, or if we want to, download this file and send it to them some other way. So there we go, save and exit or download. I'm actually just going to discard this for the purpose of this because I've got way too many things going on my screen at the moment as it is. So those are the present options. There is an autoplay as well if you just want to build something to have up on a screen that runs through and loops itself. And then sharing is really, really simple as well. So if you've got team members that also use Canva, you can search for those people or those groups. Here's my presenter team group, so I can share it with my team. Or you can just send people a link. So you can change the access here. So if I only want people in my business to have access, I can change it to just the presenter. If I want anyone with the link to have access and only view it, which would be important, I can copy that link and I can now drop that in an email, maybe on a mailing list to a few thousand people, or share it on social media or whatever it may be. So very, very easy to share your presentation as well from Canva. You don't need to share a file with anyone. Also, a nice thing to mention is you can download your presentation as a PDF or as a PowerPoint. So if you want to build it in Canva but then bring it into PowerPoint, there might be some little niggly issues with crossover. It's something I haven't really tested too much, but that is possible to do. So maybe your whole team doesn't know you use Canva because you keep sending them PowerPoints, but they are wondering how you're getting so good at presentations. It could be because of this. So I hope you found this useful. I would 100% recommend that if you are following this channel, if you are following my posts on LinkedIn, you clearly have an interest in building better looking presentations. And I've always said for years that PowerPoint is kind of the OG or the GOAT of the presentation space for sure. I don't think that's ever going to change. Prezi maybe has had its day. It remains to be seen. But I have to say, Canva is really rocking my world at the moment, and I'm really excited to hopefully help out some people out there that are using Canva presentations and would like some expert designers to get their hands on this to build something for them, because it's a really exciting tool. As you've seen, it's so simple to use. And of course, with Canva, the thing to mention once again is that you just have access to so many different types of designs, social media, video creation, whatever you need to create, it's here in Canva. So yeah, my hat's off to you, Canva, and Melanie, the founder of Canva, who I've followed for a long time. Absolutely fantastic job with the presentations here. There's a few things I'd like to see, but I'm going to keep quiet about those and hopefully reach out to you guys and see if there's a way of getting those in. But I hope you found this video useful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions on Canva at all. If you're thinking, would this work for my business? Let me know. I'm happy to answer those. And finally, we did it. I built my Norway presentation. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.